Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got some parts in today, so I want to toss them together on the RC10 long arm and get this information out because I know some guys are following this. I know some guys are ordering parts, and this may help expedite your build process as I kind of figure everything out. I also want to send a big thank you out to Jason over at RC10 Talk. He commented on my first video, let me know the appropriate shot length for the back was the 1.32s and the 1.02s for the front, and it appears correct. So we did get our JC Racing arms in from RC Mart and got them mounted up. So was able to finish quite a bit, but I still have some parts coming that should be in the mail this week. So I'm really hoping that this is kind of the second part, and the third part is going to be a video with everything assembled and in there, but I wanted to kind of update everybody on what was going on, and also I was able to confirm a few parts that I didn't know about before, and I wanted to get that out there so as people are ordering their parts, they can continue to order parts and not be waiting on this video to see what fits and what's don't. So let's walk through it, and I'll kind of update you on where we're at. So we'll take off the Masami replica body, toss that aside. And the parts that came in today were from Go Fast. And just like I said before, some tasty treats arrived too. So it was pretty sweet, not only getting my parts, but also getting some taffy, bubble gum, etc. and a little sticker there. So again, big thank you to Go Fast for getting these out. Hobby Action order comes in, I think maybe tomorrow or the next day. And that should wrap this up because I did order that this morning. And they shipped it out. So tracking and everything, I should see that here. And that's really the shocks and the front spindles should be coming. And I think a rear body mount because I forgot to order that. So a lot different than the first video. Got some progress done. So again, JC Racing arms came in and we got those on and mounted and taken care of. Mount up fine. The only thing I didn't know how it worked, but the RC10T hinge pins do work. Chris confirmed that they're on, or Jason confirmed that they're on here. And the only thing is the front brace that usually comes with an RC10T. I put it out here on the front because there's not enough room in between the arms. They fit pretty snug to that bulkhead, so I put it on the front. It passes the bumper, but obviously if you hit pretty hard, you could probably bend that or break that. I don't know if that's right or not, but it gets the slop out of the hinge pins, and I'm doing it for now until I figure it out. Started mounting up the turnbuckles, so Fan RC Worlds titanium turnbuckles will fit on the long arm, and then I just went with the black ball cups to make it look cool. Again, waiting on my World's steering blocks so I can finish that up. I do have titanium standard length front axles. And I also have the wide front axles, but they're in steel. So once I get those, I'll kind of see how it mounts up and everything works. But we got our shocks on there. Those work great. The mounts, you cannot use like a standard shock mount on the bottom. So kind of the standard shock mount that you get with the Fan RC shock kit. They work at the back. They won't work at the front. So you need kind of a ball mount. And what that is, what I used, I had some extra stuff from B4s, is these parts are no longer available. These red parts, they're Yaba Racing out of Japan. And I used a Yaba Racing bottom shock mount as well. And it works perfect. So switch that out. That's in there. And then the only other thing that I'm really working on is trying to figure out the rear end here. So as you can see, my dog bone dropped out because there's way too much droop. So I got to figure it out with the shocks. I mean, that's about as far as you're going to get droop. So I'll limit the shocks. The one thing I am going to do is right now, currently I have 2 spacers on the inner and I have 1 spacer on the outer. There's still a little play in there, so I am going to probably put 4 spacers on the inner and leave no spacers on the outer and see how that works. That will move the dog bones back, get rid of that slop, and dial that in. Motor plate came in today, got that on there. Motor cover is on there. So getting really close to being able to wrap this thing up, but so far so good. The parts fit. again, thanks to Jason at RC10 Talk, was able to order my shocks first thing this morning, get those out from Hobby Action. Should have those fairly quick. Battery thumb screws are on their way. Should have those tomorrow as well. So I can get those in, get rid of these screws, mount the foam in there, start kind of working on the battery placement. R1 shipped out my order. It comes from Florida, so I probably won't see it. I mean, I may see it Friday or I may see it Saturday. That'll allow me to kind of figure out the slipper. It'll also allow me to finish getting the servo mounted in there as well. So, made a lot of progress today. Looking pretty good. I need to wrap a few things up and continue to go from there. So I'll probably have maybe 1 or 2 more videos on this because I didn't want to just wait and then bam, the car was finished. So I figured this was a good stopping point to kind of go through the progress, let you know what I found out as far as confirming, yes, the RC10T hinge pins do work. 1.02 front shocks work. 1.32 rear shocks appear to work. And then, like I said, I'll do some spacing in the back to move the CVDs in, get some slop out of there, and then I will work on the droop to figure that out. But that's about where we're at, and that's a pretty good distance there. So 1.32 shocks apparently are correct, and then I will start working on the electronics. So a surplus rocket 21.5 to match my fan RC graphite. I'll get the Hobby Wing speed controller. I have an extra Fly Sky receiver for my Noble 4. So I'll get that mounted in here. I'll finish mounting up the front. Like I said, I got an R1 Works servo brace coming. So I'll get that in. I gotta find a servo arm. So I've been using a ProTech on my RC10. So I think I have an extra one laying around. I did have to cut it down slightly. It's a 2-hole, and the top hole was actually hitting the body. So I just moved it down one, and it seems to be fine. A couple other things is, this mount in the front, ironically, this body is one I had left over, and the front hole mount lines up perfectly from a Gold Pan or a team car to this. This is just an RC10T rear body mount that comes and mounts the back, and then the screw just goes through the bottom. So that mounts up there along with the RC10T bulkhead. And man, I think that's getting us there, guys. I mean, we're almost got a car. So if I get some shocks and I figure out the root droop, I can get that done. And like I said, I think that's relatively easy to figure out, is just adding some spacers in there and then maybe a 2mm spacer or something within the shock itself to get that taken care of. We have rims in the back there. So I got a set of rims, and I may mount up a set of slicks there, some J Concept Smoothies 2s and silvers, or I do have a set kind of down over here that I've been running on my graphite. They have 4 race weekends, so 16 total races on them, and they're still in good shape. So I may just graft those onto here as I'm doing a comparison. That way they have equal tires and all that stuff. So other than that, looking pretty good. We'll order the No Coast RC standoffs for the upper deck as well, just to trick this out. These are plastic and they seem pretty stout, but I'll get those ordered as well, see if we can get those in. But I'm hoping, hopefully, by the weekend we have a finished product here and we can start getting some electronics in this. But I did want to get this out, so as guys are ordering their chassis and some of the parts, they can order the other parts with confidence because it's already been done on here. So I did order another set of JC Racing arms from Factory Works. I ordered those today, and I hope to see those come in probably by the weekend just as spares. I was getting a little worried that these may not show up before the weekend, so I ordered some from them, and then voila, these show up at my doorstep today. And I was able to make some good progress and basically confirm everything else that was out there that I needed to confirm, and we should be good to go. So now it's just finishing it up. So in the next couple days, we should have this done. But come back, we'll do kind of a finished build review once I have everything in there, the spindles on. I'll confirm whether, standard titanium or the longer offset steel ones we're going to be using to get the track width and see how that compares to my graphite. Get the shocks mounted up and bled, and then we'll start on the electronics package as well. So we are going to be close to finished, and should have that here in the next couple days, guys. So stay tuned. Thanks again. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'll put my email in the description below as well if you want to reach out to me. I know some people want to talk about more specifically, and some want to talk about some specific setup as far as vintage, maybe electronics, etc. out there. So we'll get it finished up and out on the channel. So look for part 3 soon.